So someone is trying to enter the border of South Africa by force. I'll repeat that again. By force, regardless of what the government of South Africa is trying to say. Watch this video more careful because it really concerns you. I'll see you after then for more analytics.
In September of that same year, we received a letter addressed to the president, but copied to me and the Minister of International Relations from a lawyer practicing here in South Africa in Roodepoort, who is understood to have studied in the US, saying she is representing an American NGO, and she's informing us that the NGO has got 2 plane loads of Afghan nationals who are on the tarmac already in Kabul, and we must allow them to land in South Africa for asylum while they are waiting for the US to vet them, presumably. Of course, we took offense. Why such a request can be made?
It's not more like an instruction. You must allow them.
Yeah, well, he said, I'm writing this letter to inform you that there are Afghans there. This is what you must do. It actually states what you must do. And it goes on then to lecture us about international obligations which we have entered into and our own Refugee Act. It's a 2-page lecture about these obligations, etc. So we said, no, we can't accept this. And we ignored them completely. And nothing happens. Fast forward last week, on the 16th of February, our immigration officials at Beit Beach Brother Post in Musina, they received a letter from a group of lawyers, this time not from Roodepoort, from here in Melrose Arc, a huge legal firm, because they wrote all their names there to show that they are huge, saying, look, we represent 22 people. They don't mention their names. They don't mention nationalities. We are representing them. And in a short while, they will be arriving at the border post. We request you to prepare a transit visa in terms of Section 23 of the Immigration Act to allow them into South Africa to apply for asylum. While we're still surprised because people applying for asylum are not preceded by letters from lawyers and all that. When you apply for asylum, you are running away. You just appear there at the border, you know. So this one was being prepared for by lawyers. But a short while later, a bus did indeed arrive at Beit Bridge, carrying 22 people who are Afghan nationals, but also 3 Americans inside. One of the Americans is a lady, went out into the building and said, look, we are applying for asylum. And he said, with an American passport, what? Then they said, he said, no, we have got 22 Afghan nationals here who need to apply because they are in danger from the Taliban. So the official said, bring one of them who speaks English. Let's understand this whole thing, because it was not they couldn't comprehend it. So the gentleman came in. When he showed them the passport showed that they've actually been in Zimbabwe for 30 days. They entered on the 20th of January. And now they are saying they are applying for asylum. And the passport also shows that they entered Zimbabwe via a visa. And the Zimbabweans said, no, this was a visitor's visa. They said they are on holiday when they came here. And we gave them the visas at the airport on arrival. This is called visa on arrival. So anyway, our officials said, no, you can't go in.
You didn't give them?
Yeah, no, we didn't. We didn't allow them to go in. We said, we are taking the bus back to Harare from Beit Bridge. The American lady protested strongly that she has already paid for everything, for the bus and all that. And anyway, that's a story, it's not ours. Then the following day, that's Friday, the 17th, they then appear at the border with a court order that say we must allow them in pending the hearing of the case on the 7th of March. But we must allow them in. Yes. So our first shock was we don't remember being served with any papers. Because when somebody suing you, they must give you papers.
So you hadn't received any documentation prior to
we hadn't. By that time, we hadn't. We just saw a court order. Then when we checked, we found that, something terrible has happened, which we believe was deliberate. The court case was sitting here in Pretoria. They came here to Pretoria. But they served the documents to a junior official at Beit Bridge through an email. He's an official who doesn't sit in the office because he's a supervisor at the border. He moves around. So they send these papers, they serve them to him on the email, and And then he discovered them 4 hours later that, oh, here is an email that were suing us. When he conducted Pretoria, they were already back from court, where they showed the judge that we served these people 4 hours ago. They never responded, and the judge gave them the order. But we believe or suspect that the judge might have seen that there's something fishy here. So while giving the order, he also said he's giving us 24 hours in terms of rules of anticipation. These are legal jargons that we must come to court within 24 hours and anticipate the 7th of March. So we did go on Saturday to court and said, no, we are not implementing this, judge. These are our reasons. And they were saying we are in contempt of court. We argued it for about 3 hours, and the judge ruled that, no, we shouldn't implement it. He will rather recall the date of the 7th, bring it forward to today. So as I'm sitting here at 4 o'clock, we are sitting in court now, in a full court, no longer for an interim order to hear the whole story.
Well, before I get to give you my analytics and my point of view on this one, let us try first to refresh your mind of what is this all about. We all saw on TV in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, 2021, 2022, Americans had to withdraw their troops in Afghanistan after 20 good years that they've been in that country. Now, since they announced this, Americans, they were worried about the Afghanistans that had helped them. Remember, Americans, when they go to some places, they don't work alone. They have to work with the citizens of that country to facilitate them on how to dominate or imposing their leadership in that particular sector. So they were kind of like worried about Afghanistans who were busy helping them in secret. Now they decided, they said that no, the only things we can do for them right now is to take them with us to America and give them some residence or citizenship according to what they had agreed on, isn't it? Well, and that is something we all get to see in the media. All the TV news, they spoke about it, how Americans, they have announced of withdrawing the army in Afghanistan. We get to see all those things, isn't it? Now, the question we should ask ourselves in this video is to know why Americans, they are not respecting what they had said or for trying to protect these Afghanistans who were busy helping them. That's the question number one. Question number two, why Americans, they have to leave all the country in the world and come to choose only South Africa? For what reasons? Because when we get to look at this, South Africans, they are not the one who went to Afghanistan and started a war over there. South Africans, they did not even have any problem with Afghanistans. So why, when it is the time for you to assume the responsibility of what you had caused, you took some Afghanistans, you used them against their own nation. Now that is about time for you to protect them so that they should not be sued by Talibans. Now you are busy choosing other countries in the world for you to go and impose these people to live there. That is a question we would like to know because it's very important. But before I even get to develop my point of view on this part, I'm inviting you first to have listened to what was the answer of the Minister of Home Affairs when they asked him what could be the motivation behind this. Because there have to be a motivation. Americans, they are not that fool for them to leave such big country in Europe like France, Germany, UK, Belgium, leaving all this country for them to come in South Africa, for them to give these people to be given a refugee status. That there have to be a motivation behind it. So let's first listen to what the minister said. I'll be back after that.
Minister, with that being said, what do you think could be the intention of what happened here, you know, from the lawyer's side, from the Afghanistan national side? Because you call this more of an undermining and ambush to South Africa's sovereignty. But in your view, what could be the motive behind what you've just shared with us right now?
Tumelo, it's difficult to know the motive. But what I could tell you, I think we are being undermined. There's a belief that everything in South Africa obtains. You can go there and do whatever you want at any time you want. The constitution and the legal system of the country will allow you to do so. And that's basically what, because how, if it's true that the people are being persecuted, why cross so many countries and even enter Zimbabwe and spend 30 days there and come here? In court, the lawyers produced a document written in Arabic not translated, but written in Arabic. And they say, I can't remember whether they said it's a death warrant or a warrant of arrest, but something to that effect, that it comes from the Taliban's. It shows that these people are in trouble. It's not translated. We don't even know the authenticity of it, but they produce it in court, that these people are in danger. Now, in court, something also very funny happened. They tell the judge, something very funny was uttered. They tell the judge that these people were in Pakistan, and the Taliban went to Pakistan to attack them. That's why they had to leave. And my question is, now does it mean they're saying, let them come to South Africa? When the Taliban attacks, it must attack South Africa? Because we all know the Taliban, yes.
So those are your worries, those are your concerns?
Of course.
We'll be calling
of course.
more problems for the country.
If I bring many people here with all this crime that is going around, and the Taliban said, oh, if it's true that they are really looking for these people, and they come and say, oh, so South Africa has helped them, let's go there. What am I going to say to the population? What am I going to say to South Africans that I allowed people here who we don't know, and now they are crossing crossfires? Maybe there will even be suicide bombers and suicide bombs and all that. I can't take such a chance.
Guys, the motive to all this, the truth is that we are being undermined. And here I have to agree with Minister of Home Affairs. It makes really sense in what he said here, because it does not make sense where you get to see Americans leaving all the countries in the world just for them to come and jump in South Africa. For what reasons? Look, let me tell you something. If there is a place where these people are supposed to be more safe, there is no other place in the world right now these people can be more safe than America itself. So why Americans could not take them straight away to America? Because when you get to listen to Minister of Home Affairs, Aaron, he get even to explain that according to the letter that these people wrote to the Home Affairs, they're saying that these people, they were even in Pakistan, and Taliban went and attacked them there, trying to kill them. Okay, so the message is trying to say here is that Americans are trying to say that since these people, they were attacked in other country outside of Afghanistan, in Pakistan, which means if South Africa have to welcome them today, then tomorrow these so-called Taliban, they'll come and try to attack them within South Africa. That is the message they're trying to do here. And guys, for just to refresh again your mind with a small history, I'm going to give you example of DRC, Republic Democratic of Congo. These people, today, you get to see what is happening in the east of Congo. Do you know why? Where the war's been there for years and years. And today, now, they are busy denouncing, saying that, it is Rwanda's behind all this. That did not start today. Obviously, the only mistake the DRC, back then it was a Zaire, led by Mobutu Sese Seko. The only mistake they made was when they allow the people who were coming, who are running the genocide in Rwanda, they welcome them in the east of Republic of Congo as a refugee. They give them the place to sleep, they give them the food to eat, and the next tomorrow, Rwanda, with Paul Kagame, they decided to start attacking these people inside the other country for the obvious reasons, because Kagame is afraid that these people, since they have left the country, they might go and organize themselves some days and come back to deal with my government. So that is the reason why you get to see this fight keep on continuing each and every time in the Republic of Democratic of Congo, all because they have showed that a love of welcoming other Africans. And I'm afraid to say that if we can't open our eyes right now and try to understand what is happening right now, this is the same thing will happen, because we all know how these people they are. We all know how Afghanistan's Taliban's, all those people, we know how they are. And we know how dangerous these people they are. They are the one who create a terroristic attack. They are the one who behave like a Osama bin Laden. These people, they are capable of anything. So if Americans, they're afraid to take these Afghanistans back home in America with them, and they're choosing South Africa like the right place to go and place these people, obviously they are trying to put South Africa government with the conflict within these Afghanistan's or Taliban's, who will have to come and start attacking South Africa, and will attack South Africa because they'll be accusing South Africa, saying that we're not attacking you, we are actually attacking the people you have protect, the people that you have given protection in your country. I don't know if you get me, you are following me so far. So it is very, very dangerous. And this, everyone, I mean, instead of you sitting distracting yourself about which political party you support, which individuals you love the most, these are the things you need to open your eyes on. Yes, where's Operation Dudula? This is where we need to see you. Where is the Soweto Parliament? This is where we need to see you. You guys prostrating on the street, supporting the Home Affairs minister, so that the court, they can come up with something better. Because if Americans, they can run away from taking the responsibility to give these people place, which means they have their reasons that they don't want to take that risk, and now they are trying to impose it on South Africa. And you know what surprised me the most is when I get to see minister saying that they have even to lecture South Africa of what they had signed for.
It goes on then to lecture us about international obligations which we have entered into, and our own Refugee Act. It's a 2-page lecture about these obligations, etc. So we said, "Law, we can't accept this," and we ignored them completely, and nothing happens. Fast forward last week, on the 16th of February.
When it comes to the international law of refugee, and trying to remind South Africa that you guys, when you sign this, which means you don't have the right to refuse to give these people asylum. Well, it is true. South Africa, they have signed, the government back then, they have signed for that. But you don't need to impose yourself on that. That's number one. Number two, all the refugees, we have refugees who are coming from DRC, Ghana, Nigeria, around the world, who are in this country. What did they do? They come in a very running way, like you show up, you don't need a lawyer. You go by yourself and try to defend yourself and try to explain the Home Affairs how your life has been in danger, so that the Home Affairs, will get to help you and give you a refugee status or any asylum seeker. But for the first time, I'm get to see this kind of refugees who are coming. They did not even show up at the Home Affairs. Instead, they are lawyers. They're the one who shows up at the Home Affairs, and at the same time they're showing up themselves inside the court. So they are trying to impose how powerful they are. And to make even things more interesting, these people, they were in Zimbabwe for almost 30 days. Why did they not do this in Zimbabwe? Why are them coming to South Africa? Because they are in the mission, guys. Open your eyes. That is the naked truth. They are in the missions. We all know that Americans, they always try to impose the leadership all over around the world. And their leadership, they've been trying so. Now, when we look now in the South Africa politics, it's been for some times now that the EFF leader, Julius Malema, he's been very clear in his message, saying that if it is up to EFF, he can't work with such people as Americans and Europeans. He rather work with Russia and Chinese. That message have reached out there to all these people. Because EFF leader Julius Malema, he never believed in them. He keep on accusing even the ANC leadership, saying that there are being people who are obeying somewhere to their open eye must. We all know, we always heard the EFF leader saying that. So this message have reached to them already. And they can see that if we don't try to impose even more of our leadership in South Africa, we will lose all the benefit or all the profit that we're getting from South Africa. So they need to find something to use against South Africa government, just in case if ANC government and anyone, they try to turn their backs on them. And the ANC, they've been doing that for some times now. I'm going to give you a very easy example. See what is happening in Russia. Americans and Europeans, British, when I'm talking about Europeans, I'm saying British, Germany, France, so on and so on. These people, they've been trying by all means to neutralize all the Russians supporters, I mean, like all the countries that are supporting Russia, they're trying to impose, like trying to force them by force for them to go and support what they are having against Russia. And when it comes to Africa, Africans, they've said nope, we don't want to get involved in these matters, because we also what you guys did with Saddam Hussein, we also what you guys did with Muammar Gaddafi and so many leaders in the world. So you guys, you always want people to bow, walk on their knees and worship you. If someone have to go against your will, then you want to use everyone to turn against that person. So we don't want to be part of that. That is the very strong message African Union with their leadership they have announced to the world about it. Now, when it comes to a particular case of South Africa, they know that South Africa have a very big influence in Africa. In order for African countries to get to support our ideas, we need to have a big country such as South Africa, so that they can support us. And they came to us and asked South African so that they can support them. And I remember President Ramaphosa refused immediately, saying that Russia is our partner and we're not going to do such things. For that reason, I have told you before, this is something that Americans, they're not going to sit and just keep quiet. They'll try to find a way of punishing South Africa in one way or another way. And they know very well that South Africa, so far, it is a democracy country, and there is no any war or any drama like rebellions or terrorist attacks or anything like that. So they thinking that no, we need to do something. They want to create something as the way they did create in the Republic of Democratic of Congo, DRC. The way they did create some trouble there. The more there's too much trouble in that country, the more they keep on benefiting from the mineral of Congolese people. So that is the same thing they are actually trying to do right now. They want to create some dramas within in the country, so that they'll be able to be there as the first people to bring the solution. And we all know wherever they go, they never bring a solution. You never gonna give me one country which you have seen Americans they walk through in and they came out with a proper or succeeding solution to that country. Obviously, every time there will always be drama after drama, especially if they have left from that country. So they kind of like trying to see now what measurement can we use, because we're not just gonna say that these people that are Afghanistans. These people, they might be mercenaries, yes, commandos who are being sent in a special mission. These people could be terrorists. We're never gonna know. So we don't just need to let people in because it is written in the law, because we have signed what in the United Nations. For sake, no, man. That is something that we need to open our eyes. These are the same people. Recently, last year, in Sandton, they got the courage to announce to people of South Africa in the media, remember, saying that no, there is a terrorist attack which is being prepared in Sandton. Therefore, we are denouncing this so that the government of South Africa, they should know about it. For what reason, dude? How could you be a visit at someone's house and you see the danger, or a toti who's trying to enter that house, instead of you letting the owner of the house, who knows the house very well, that no, I'm seeing something fishy here, come, here's the proof. You're not doing anything like that. You jump out of the house, you go on the street and start shouting loud, saying that no, there is someone who's about to enter that house to steal. This is the way they are trying to cause some trouble. So it is up to our government to open their eyes and get to see what they can do about all this, because this is something. I mean, guys, imagine this country if we have to start dealing with a Boko Haram or DRC massacre or terrorist attack and all those kind of things. With all these crises that we are having already, can you imagine how bad things will look like? So I think here we all need to support the Minister of Home Affairs. Yes, we need to support him. We need to give him a hands up. And these things, now that he's inside the court, let them win this court. And these people, Americans, if they were coming on their own, maybe it was going to be more easy and very easy to understand. But since it is Americans who are behind these people, since it is American who's supposed to be accommodating these people in their country, they are not doing so. I mean, we are not that stupid for us just to let this kind of things take place, because your future, our future, depends on it. thank you so much for watching this video. It was very important that I bring it to attention so that we can both be in the same page, because we are risking, trust me. Before you leave, make sure that you give me your thumbs up. I'll really do appreciate. Follow us in our social media, subscribe to the channel. We'll also do appreciate that. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.